Good evening, SpeedGaming 2, and welcome to Season 7 of the Link to the Past Randomizer League. We are in Week 1, and this is Game 1 for our two teams tonight between the Perfect Unadulterated Gaming Squad, or PUGs, and the Crystal Roller Crew, or CRC. We've got Dante and Andy for PUGs, and Karma and Arm for CRC. I am Jesse Radical Sniper 99, joined tonight by Drossi with Relkin and What's Up on Tracking. Hello, Drossi.
Hello, good to be back in the booth with you. It's been a while. And I'm certainly excited to see these runners go at it. Crystal Roller Crew is our Season 6 Open League champions, so this is their first time in Invitational, and of course, the Pugs are very well known to the community, so this should be a really great match.
Yeah, we are in, as we said, Week 1. Co-op all dungeons key drop boots. So what's going on? Our teams are in voice calls with themselves. So Dante and Andy are in a voice call, Karma and Arm in a voice call. And what happens is that they will be talking through the seed, making checks, telling each other where stuff is. The 80 key DB, it's an all dungeon, so they have to beat everything, every crystal, every pendant, both Agas and Ganon. It is key drop, which means that it's key sanity, but all the pot and enemy keys are also shuffled into the pool, so it changes the numbers quite a bit. And then boots means we start with the boots.
Because, well, certain people like starting with boots.
This is a good mode for the boots, honestly. It opens up a lot to kind of, do things. Like, it gives more options for both players to kind of explore the map a little bit, so you get a little bit more divergence to start here.
Yeah, one other thing is to help move things along, because this isn't all dungeons, Aga will not be firing blue balls today.
Yeah, so both Agas are 0 blue balls. What that also does is it means that Ganon is 0 warps.
Yes, that too.
So we do see a little bit of a different route between the two teams. We got Dante doing what I'd say is a more traditional route, along with Karma for the mode of Link's house to Saha, and it looks like he'll probably go to Eastern after this. Whereas Arm is doing the other traditional route I would expect, is the other teammate going to CAC. Andy kind of the divergent route here, hitting Uncle first for those two checks. We do see one of those GT small keys, though, at Sanctuary. Big requirement there. There are 8 total small keys. You need 6 to get every check. You're hoping, like, you need at least 2 to do the climb. So any more than those 2, like, is for the basement checks, really. So you're hoping, I get them. We do see a cape, a big key to ice, as well as a swamp small.
Yeah, so it always hurts when you see an early big key and then it's something useless like ice.
Honestly, I like that ice big. It does help a lot. Like, you don't want to have to leave that. It's one of those keys we can skip in the grand scheme, but it's nice to have.
Prevents orphaning, I get it.
Yeah.
And the swamp small isn't quite as valuable in key drop compared to regular key sanity, because you need a few of them.
Yeah, there are another one of those dungeons with 6 total small keys in it. You need 4 if you can specky clip to get to Argus. If you want to full clear it, you would need 5 then. Although 4 is still possible. There's a trick. I don't think we've seen it on a restream yet this season. But there is something called Bomb Spooky for Left Side Swamp. That is definitely pretty neat tech that can help you save another key in that dungeon. There's one of our CT small keys, though, in the back of Blind's Hut. There are 4 of those. Best way to think about those keys is like each additional key opens up one more item in Aga Tower. So like you can get in, there's 1 item. 1 key gives you the Dark Maze, another key gives you the Archer, the 3rd key gives you Circle of Pots, and then finally the 4th key does give you Aga.
Yeah, Aga Tower is about the most linear dungeon in the game. So, yeah, it's the only dungeon where the keys just flat out stack on top of each other.
So Cackwell, we did see another GT small. We have that mirror there. in the back of the well, followed by our first of 6 TR smalls. And that's about it. So nothing major yet.
Yeah, that's another thing to get used to, because you're used to getting 2 TR smalls automatically from drops, but again.
Yeah, what you're seeing here is Arm is going to buy the bombs here instead of getting Bottle Vendor. Unfortunately, not getting those early rupees out of Link's house has kind of limited his options here in CAC, so he's going to have to skip the Bottle Merchant. Meanwhile, Dante has finished up his work through the 4 checks of Eastern Palace. You do see Karma in the back as well in the dark, trying to get that pot. And there it is for that glove. So big find for both Dante and Karma. That'll give them, looks like Dante's taking that for back of escape. Really like this play.
And what do you know? Other glove on Bottle Vendor, right, as we mentioned that.
And that's going to be a bit of a problem for CRC, depending on, yeah, it looks like Arm does not have the money. So he's going to miss out on his Titan's Mitts.
Well, we know that Dante's old team was the Titans Mitts, so of course his team's going to get them. We also got red meringues for both of the bottom runners in the back of Tavern. So we can do some stunning, and ooh, there is, oh right, Dante already got that bow.
Yeah, that bow and that skull small, very nice finds. We need at least 2 skull smalls to defeat the moth. So good find there for Karma and Dante. And of course, always appreciate having a real weapon. A bow is actually something we can work with. And Karma's going to wait on Kakariko a little bit.
And we have music.
So yeah, unfortunately, Karma delaying his CAC even further. I respect the play. It makes a lot of sense, given that I don't think Arm really found something too important yet. But that is a hook shot as our flooded item.
So now we can really stun enemies.
I mean, I'll take that as a real weapon for a lot of the early stuff we're going to be dealing with, to be honest. That's really helpful.
Oh, for sure, and then, you know, we can do Death Mountain out of logic, and that gets us the East Mountain.
Heart container on the desert ledge, probably not too massively important. I'm not sure if we're going to see anybody pick that up. It's a quick one if you can, but it's a little out of the way. There's those Titan's Mitts now for Dante.
So, did neither of Crystal Roller Crew get... Oh, right, they didn't do Uncle, so that's why they don't have the money. Oh, there is a Jawbreaker in Agena.
Yeah, nice Moon Pearl there, and so that does mean we have Dark World access, and I gotta say, with a mirror, that's gonna be really nice access with Vu. Good find for Karma there. Unfortunately, I feel like they're gonna be last locating the mitts for a bit.
Also, unless we find the hammer, the Dark World access is logically behind Lamp.
Yeah, and I expect the lamp's probably going to be showing up pretty shortly. I would not be surprised to see it here in Mini Moldorm.
Sphere 1 Dark World access.
Ooh, a Hyrule Castle small key. A Desert small. Okay. There's that lamp, so now we have Logical Dark World and our half magic. Very nice.
Yay for logic. That also opens up a good chunk of Death Mountain.
I thought maybe we were going to get to see Andy go also over to Agena, but deciding not to for now. King's Tomb is dead.
Actually, Death Mountain could be an interesting play with the mitts and the hookshot on the mirror.
Well, and that's the thing. I think if I'm Pugs, as soon as Like, I would have to say, like, I hope Dante is the one who's going to say, I'm going to get this hook and go to Agina, let Andy go to Ice Rod Cave, and then, like, Dante pulls the Pearl, and then they split Vu and Mountain. Is probably the way I would look at this if I'm them.
Yeah, I can see that, since you only have the Vu portal down below.
But no, it looks like Dante is heading to Agina. He wants that half magic and lamp. Just gonna have to be a little careful here. Oh boy.
You mean he's not heading to Agina?
Yeah, sorry, he's heading to Mini Moldorm. Karma did get that water walk and is getting the Cane of Samaria and as well as another Desert Small. Very nice finds.
Arm now has enough money for Bottle Vendor. Karma still doesn't. So
yeah, Karma spent that $50 early on his initial set of bombs.
Yeah, we'll see if either of them can get over there. Arm no doubt will pick up his Moon Pearl since Karma hopefully told him where it was.
It looks like Dante is going to head for the mountain here based on his equipment and that start point. I think he's going up. Yeah, this is Death Mountain for Dante. Meanwhile, Andy getting that information about our Desert Small and Samaria.
It's funny, we've gotten most of the items and still don't have a sword.
Yeah, with all the extra keys, it's, you know, sometimes you get those nice starts where you're finding early weaponry. This one, not so much.
Oh, you know, Hookshot, Bow, and Samaria aren't nothing.
No, not at all. Especially with half magic, that does give us a real fighting with Samaria. That is a pod small on our man under the bridge. There's one of those Ice Palace small keys. We do need 2 of those to beat Ice Palace. There are 2 doors, no matter which route you take, whether it's Ice Palace bomb jump route or Icebreaker, like whatever way you go, there are 2 small key doors in your way every time.
That just mentioned a save scum from Karma. I didn't catch it. What was he save scumming?
I did not. Maybe it was Frederick, the rat.
Oh, key and I didn't realize he had already.
Yeah, that Hyrule Castle small key we found earlier in Mini Moldorm Cave. I'm guessing he took a drop into the back and decided, let me see what's on the rat. And I guess it was nothing worth his time at this moment. Yeah, I'm not surprised both of them would save scum that. That's a really common play in this mode. Especially with Hyrule Castle. The 3, like, logically, that check is 3 key locked, so you're gonna try to not have to do it. But it's definitely made a difference in quite a lot of the practice I've been doing for this week. We got Cane of Burna, we've got a small key to Skull, Piece of Heart. Dante might be happy with some health. And a Sticky Small.
Karma went to the mountain without the mirror.
Interesting.
Where was the mirror?
That was in CAC.
Oh, right. Karma still hasn't been to CAC, and he still doesn't have Bottle Vendor money either.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. Like, his lack of money is definitely going to push him away from his initial CAC dip. So, like, both teams kind of missing out on something important here.
Let's see what Arm does now that he's done with the hobo. Because he has Bottle Vendor money. Okay, sank. That's something. Since he hasn't picked up the glove from Eastern.
No, I thought Arm got over to Eastern already.
He got over to Eastern. His tracker isn't showing the glove. I'm not... Oh no, this does seem to be a mountain play, which...
Yeah, he's gonna like from his perspective, this is where the progression is right now.
I mean,
like Karma's gonna
it's
tell him
so
shortly.
easy
It's
to
not.
dart over to Bottle Vendor.
No, like that's a lot of time here, and like in terms of density, their voice call is probably like Karma's saying like, "Here it is," and Arm's got the mirror, so he's gonna go to Hera. Like from his perspective, this is the play.
Yeah, well, Hera is nice to get out of the way at least.
Well, and we can't even beat Hera. This is just a Hera die.
Oh, this must be the Agena play for Andy.
Yeah. Well, especially with that book out of Uncle, like I hadn't even noticed that. Like that's a big driving force to get over to Desert Palace here. But yeah, from Arm's perspective, like either East Death Mountain has something, which is a good reason for him to head this way. The other side of it is also like he has a mirror to dive into Hera.
Yeah, I would think for splitting things up, he would have gone straight for Hera while Karma's doing the east side.
I'm trying to see if maybe Karma got a key that helped somehow, but I don't see a weapon or a key that makes a difference. Although the fact that chat's pointing out we've got already so many CT keys, like Dante has 4 apparently, is a little surprising and shocking.
Yeah, and we can't actually defeat Aga without a sword.
But we can get in and almost get all the way there.
Yep, we can get all 4 items in there.
Meanwhile, Andy did get that pearl that we were talking about, so that does mean Pearl, Knowledge, Light, or Dark World. Meanwhile, Andy pulling Bombos out of the map chest of Desert Palace. So he's going to get a few checks. We'll see if he dives into the back. I think it's worthwhile.
Meanwhile,
nice money.
Karma should, between Well and Blindside, just barely have Bottle Vendor money.
Yeah, there's 50 rupees in the backs of the Well and Blind Hut combined, so he will be able to get that money to get Bottle Vendor and finally help them piece together their Dark World access as well. So while they definitely were hurt by the lack of money, it looks like roughly the two teams are going to hit Dark World Knowledge at the same time almost. And yeah, Andy's taking those keys he has for Desert. Looks like he's got 3, but no big. So he's going as far back as he can here.
Yeah, which is this drop. Or, no, that there's another...
Yeah, he can get the last pot here.
Yep. Yeah.
And what we're going to see here is Andy is going to take this Death Warp here inside of left side Desert off the BMOS, because he is going for that save scum of right side Desert. One of those other really annoying keys with the 4th key for Desert. So we're going to get to see at least what is on right side. Might not be worth keeping, though.
Even in regular Key Sanity, you sometimes see this play.
Yeah, it's a little less common there just because of how, like, rough that can be. Depending on the modes. Like, you see it sometimes for cross keys, sometimes for Key Sanity. Dante did get that money. I like the pickup. A 300 is really nice at this point. And there we go. Karma getting Sick Kid as well. But yeah, they do have their mitts, so they can make their way into Dark World. And Arm is rushing over.
Yeah,
and
I
we
wonder if one
see
of them
this
will go
reset.
back to Mountain. As you were saying, it makes the most sense to divide it up with one going to Boo and one going to Mountain.
Well,
no, they're both going to Cactport.
Well, and here's the thing. Karma and Arm are both here in CAC, so I like this from the standpoint of they can make this division.
I guess
like for
one
them,
does
it makes
Skull Woods and the other does, yeah.
Yeah. So like this split of Skull and Vu makes a lot of sense. For the pugs, like, they aren't as closely packed to that area now. Like, Andy still has to make his way over to Eastern to get his mitts.
Oh, right. He hasn't been there at all. Right, because he's there now.
Yeah, so, like, I think it makes a lot of sense. Dante's going to rush Vu. It's the density. And then we might see Andy go for the mountain. We'll see how this, like... I think it really depends on what Dante finds in the next couple of minutes that will decide Andy's route here.
And it looks like Arm is doing the North Dark World check, so... nope, he's... I thought if he was going up to Bumper Ledge, he'd do Graveyard Ledge King's Tomb as well.
Well, we've already seen Graveyard, so that's, you know, neither here nor there. I will say, like... I would have probably made the same check. Hey, that's a Desert Big out of chest game. We also got the flippers in the vanilla big key chest of Skull Woods. So Arm is going to run.
Yeah.
Given their timers, I don't think he knew. Although Arm, unfortunately, getting Wallmaster there. Yeah, and we did get that Desert Big out of chest, so that is a beatable desert.
There's Shovel and Thieves.
Yeah, that's really going to solidify Dante's route here. He will make pretty much a, you know, Smith and Purple Chest and all that.
Which means maybe a bit before Pugs find the flippers.
Well, and I would expect Andy to kind of come in behind at that point. Like, you know,
you don't think Andy would go to the mountain because he hasn't been yet?
I think there's a possibility, but if he does make the Vu play or the West Dark World play, it'll be to do the other stuff that Dante's not. Those two will split hard. I'm surprised how much Arm and Karma are on top of each other with this decision, but like I imagine they're going to start splitting a little harder soon. I think the one other thing is I believe Arm actually did a drop-in to Skull. I'm hoping this is... Yeah, so he got info that Karma got another Skull key out of Thieves, so he can spend this key here. Yep.
Doesn't worry about spending that key.
Yep. And you're seeing Andy did come into Dark World. He's actually going, or he's going to climb the mountain. Okay. So they'll be a little later to flippers, but honestly not huge. Oh, we got a Fire Rod in Skull, apparently.
Ooh. French vanilla and everything. And Dante's going to give us the, Oh, realizing he should probably do the full Smith chain here. He has to orphan hammer pegs, but he can certainly return the Smith and bring along the purple chest for the ride. I wonder if it was the lack of hammer that made him at first not think to do Smith chain.
It depends on what you're willing to orphan like that, and that's definitely one of those that is always a little awkward.
For that matter, I wonder if Karma will handle this the same way. Yeah, he's going for Smith. Oh, he's getting money from archery game.
Yeah, unfortunately, the lack of Desert Dive from CRC has left them cash poor at this point. Arm's a little bit better, but Karma was just barely able to afford that first glove or that Titan's mitts. So yeah, he is really having to make this play into Arrow game this early. And this is one of those things we, not talked about a ton in co-op, is, how do you handle the money? And we just haven't found a lot, and what we have found has just immediately been spent on important stuff. And I see the third member of CRC, Zaf, pointing out resource management. I know that's been, he and I have discussed a bit about that being like one of those things that's really important for them and has come back to bit them in some of their stuff. So there's a Swamp Small at dig spot.
That's our second, yeah. Well, and we have flippers and mirror and hook shot. No hammer, but we have Specky Clip. So I don't know if you can beat Argus with this current loadout.
No, we would need at least silver arrows. And we find out that Thieves and Mire are 5-6 crystals. Not as common to talk to our bomb vendor in this mode, but we are seeing it from the pugs.
Oh, and chat remarking that Armalex got a sword by going over to Catfish, so...
Very nice. There we go. The game is playable.
That makes it really good for him to be on the mountain, because he can beat Hera. Though, Crystal Roller Crew still haven't been to Uncle to get the book, so we're not going to see Ether Tablet. But
well, we could
see show us Ether Tablet.
We'll see if he heads over. I wonder if the lack of a weapon is going to keep him out of Hera and that side of the mountain. So if we can get a hammer or a sword in Hookshot Cave, it would be really helpful. That's another Swamp Small, though.
I think with Specky Clip, that's enough to beat Swamp.
Yeah, just can we get a weapon? Purple Chest gives us our first of our three Thief Smalls.
I mean, you can beat Swamp with a fighter sword. Most people wouldn't want to.
I'm just more so focusing on the two who have the flippers.
Oh.
Well, or the one who has flippers who's close to it.
And there are silvers. Okay, it's all good.
We got a sword on Bombo's tablet.
And Pyro Castle big. We have enough small keys to get to Zelda's cell, though?
Yes. We've actually seen a couple more of those drop.
Oh, okay. And we also have seen now both sides have knowledge that TR is Ether.
And Andy is actually going to give us Hera and possibly a tablet check.
I'm a little bit surprised that Arm didn't do Hera, since, again, he has a sword. And there's a sword on the tablet, so it's a two-sword locked sword.
We have two of those. Bombo's tablet was also a sword.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god. I missed that. That's amazing.
Yeah, so...
That is truly amazing.
Yeah, this is something. I would assume that, whichever sort, like, our pugs will get tempered. It's just a question of which one. They are not getting butter, that's for sure. They're going to get whichever sword they can get first.
How often do you see a hard required sword on Catfish?
I gotta say, that's something. And I do see Karma heading for Castle Tower. This is a beatable Castle Tower.
Well, he doesn't have the sword.
Oh, yeah.
He might want one.
Yeah, and I'll feel pretty bad if he now goes get the sword and then comes right back to Castle Tower. Like, that's going to be really unfortunate for a route.
Yes, I think Zaf is reflecting that in chat. Speaking of the castle, Andy is heading there. He only has 3 CT smalls according to his tracker. Looks like he's actually going to try the front of escape here.
Yeah, he's done up to Boomguard, so this is going to be him able to get to Zelda's cell.
Right, and he's actually gotten the castle big key, so...
Yeah, this is him finishing it out. There's that fire rod for Dante.
Yep.
He'll get the flippers shortly as well.
speaking of Fire Rod, Arm is now in the back of Skull Woods. We are going to see our first dungeon clear for any of our players.
Yeah, that sword advantage for CRC is going to be really nice. The longer that holds, the better. And it's looking more and more like the next sword could also just be locked.
Right, I mean, if a sword's on Moth, then Catfish is your hard-required first sword.
I mean, that or... Like, it's not locked, but, like, the CT play here that we're going to get from Andy is also going to be kind of dangerous. Like, will Andy get a sword here in Aga Tower?
Very nice Moth fight from Arm, considering Fighter Sword. Thieves big.
Ooh, okay.
Now, we don't have any Thieves smalls, so...
We saw one.
Looks like
Dante got
Dante
one.
has one.
Yeah, Dante got one. I forget specifically. It was on Dig Spot, was it, I think?
No, wasn't that one of the Swamp Smalls?
You got it. So maybe it was Purple Chest. There we go. Yeah, chat's confirming that. Purple Chest. Thank you.
Oh, that'll do it. And looks like Karma is going to climb Hera.
The unfortunate part here is our CRC team has no knowledge of the book. And a lot has come from that knowledge.
They really don't like Uncle.
And understandably so in this mode. Like, it's one of those plays, it's really a commitment to the front of escape. So they just haven't... I'm surprised they, got back to Bottle Vendor before this. Or before the front of escape, really.
Andy has come as far as he can in CT, so he's out of there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there is no sword there, but it looks like he did find the Ice Rod.
Well, that's pretty much on anyone's glide path, so I wouldn't worry too much about anyone not finding it. Just a map in Hera Basement, and no, Karma is not climbing. Does he just not want to orphan the big chest?
I'm not sure. I would have to see what their strategy is, given that two of them have both skipped out on it.
Oh, well, Dante's on his way to Catfish, so that'll finally give Pugs their first sword. Meanwhile, Crystal Roller Crew finally discover the book. And does Dante have... No, Dante just has 300, so not quite Zora money.
No, but this works out nicely for Dante. It's also going to be that Desert Small in Samaria for him.
Right, just that, like, everyone's orphaned Zora at this point.
Yeah, like, we've seen some money, by the looks of it. Andy will get to do that Zora check, at least. Because he'll go get the sword and be able to do it.
So is Karma gonna... Okay, Karma's gonna do the back of escape, but he can climb.
Yeah, and I would expect him to hit that afterwards. It's probably one of their best sets of checks right now.
And Karma grabbed the fire rod, didn't he?
No, he did not do the front of Skull.
He just got the flippers and left. Wow. Okay.
He wasn't. He was in that key situation we were talking about earlier with 2 smalls that he
Oh.
wanted to save for the moth. He unfortunately got his 3rd in thieves, and I don't think he's gone back yet. It's a commitment. Like, this is kind of the beauty of like how the route worked out for Arm, in that he was able to avoid the save and quit, and the double-edged sword in that respect for Karma. Co-op, is such a great mode of the little stuff, the communication that you get to hear, or not hear in this case, but like what you see happen, but it's the micro timings. Like, if I'm just that little bit too slow to tell my teammate what I'm finding, that it could change their route just so greatly that you miss something that important.
Right, the difference between just before they save and quit and just after they save and quit.
Exactly.
Now we're finally going to find out Zora.
Oh, and that's a big key to where. That's our Hera big. Wow. Okay. Andy, are you heading up the mountain, I guess? Yep. So everybody's about to have their first dungeon done soon. I will also say, Arm's been working that tree pull, so he will have the money shortly for his Zora play as well.
And the nice thing about doing the Ag Climb, since we still don't have a hammer, is it'll at least give us a second portal into the Dark World besides CAC.
Yeah, it's looking like we're going to have to head to Pod soon. Like, we're running out of great plays. The question is which double dip we're going to have to make soon. It's, am I diving Swamp? Am I diving Ice? Am I diving Pod?
It's kind of funny that the 2 stubborn items are Flute and Hammer in this seed.
I mean, I'll take a lot of what we found. No Ice Rod hunt, no CT small hunt. Like, I am shocked that we have all the CTs, actually.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's nothing on Lumberjack, and we already have flippers to get to East Dark World, so the 4th CT doesn't give us anything besides strictly the ability to kill Aga. Looks like Arm wants in on Castle Tower as well.
Yeah, you're going to have to knock it out eventually, and knowing the Ice Rod's in there, you just want it done. Hera Basement dead, just a map to Thieves, which we do know is one of our 5/6s. Charles, you did say we probably don't need, like, this 4th Aga Small is not a big deal. The one thing it could do for us logically is Pyramid Fairy without the hammer.
Oh, that's true. We have the mirror.
Like, it's so rare of a play, but it could happen.
And, I mean, we'd still need the flute for that to be possible.
Yeah, I mean, we're still missing quite a bit. Like, we don't have a Mire Big yet. We don't have a flute. We need at least the Thieves, 2 more Thieves Small to make Thieves in Logic. Like, there's a lot. But it's...
The hammer would have to be really deep.
Yes. Meanwhile, our Dante gets his first dungeon as Andy and Karma are on their first dungeon kills. So about to even up the count for at least a little bit until Arm takes down his Aga Tower as well. So Dante getting that odd small.
But a crystal.
Yeah, and Dante getting that 3rd pod small is sending him into pod. He'll get some good checks out of this. I expect him to spend all 3 of those keys for sure at this point.
Yeah, we don't have the big yet, so you figure you find at least 1 more small by the time you find the big.
Well, and it's info. You want to get as much info as possible for your teammate to say what to or not to check there.
And you know what they say, there's always a pod key in pod. I believe you also have a teammate who's rather fond of Pendant Pod.
Yeah, sometimes they're right. Yeah, so the two swords we have knowledge of are unavailable until we get that second sword. The Ether Tablet and Bombos Tablet swords are, of course, behind our Master Sword right now, unfortunately, so we are waiting for that.
And that Master Sword could be absolutely anywhere because it doesn't lock anything except for those two other swords.
Yeah, I mean, that one sword is what we need to do almost anything. Looks like we're going to see a ledge hover here in pod.
I mean, you can play the entire game on Fighter Sword right up until the Ganon fight, which you need at least Master for.
Yep. We get that right side hover, and there's that flute. So there's another piece of that puzzle we were talking about.
That's why I sighed, because
yep.
I don't want to think about Hammer and Pyramid Fairy, and that's why the game gave us Aga so early.
I will say that Bombos Medallion might start giving some thoughts about ice along with that Fire Rod. Like, there's definitely a little bit of a push for that kind of play.
So, I imagine Karma's going to finish off Desert here, because he's actually in here with 3 smalls and the big.
Yeah.
And a fire source. And
the pet is dead. There is our Eastern Big Key out of the turtle room of pod.
Pet is dead. Long live the pet.
Big money for Dante there. Gonna not turn his nose up at that. Make it easier for him to get that Zora's Big Key. Actually, he doesn't even need it, I guess. Does he?
So we're finding Meyer Smalls now. How many Meyer Smalls do we need to get to Vidi?
None.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Right. Vidi is behind 0 of his small keys.
Right, as long as you have the big and
yep.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm also going for this hover. Very nicely done. While Dante's hovering Hammer Yum.
Very nicely done. It looks like he missed the timing on that bomb, unfortunately. So went to the reserve hover. Very nicely done. Gets a Meyer small key there in the Dark Maze. He'll be pretty happy with that extra one. Having a third means you can get all the checks that are not big key locked. So nice find. And are you actually going to dip back into Eastern, sir? This is an uncompletable Eastern for him. He's still lacking at least 1 small, but it's 2 extra checks for him.
Nice silver landmo fight, about the fastest it is humanly possible to do that fight. For an Eastern small. We do need at least 1 of those.
Yeah, good find for Karma before he'll be able to beat Eastern. So that'll also keep Arm outside of Eastern Palace after this dungeon.
Remind me where Eastern Big was?
Pod.
Oh, right. Of course. Like, right there.
But was that a hammer? That was a hammer on the Igor in the back of Eastern. Oh, baby.
Wow. Well, if Karma goes to get his, Eastern big, which he is not, because looks like he's going to get his Fire Rod and beat Moth. And probably check Ped.
Meanwhile, Andy has taken down the Moth. Did I miss a death on Moth for him or something? Because it felt like he was there for a while.
I didn't catch it. I was listening to Dante play the Song of His People.
Oh, he went in with no keys. Okay, that explains it. I was like, he was in the back of Skull. What happened?
So he didn't actually beat Moth then?
No, he did that time.
Oh, I see.
There's our Ice Small, and there's
the other sword.
Okay, that second Ice Small is actually huge. That does give Dante the ability to also beat Cold Stare, so he's in great shape to start making a push. Hit up a dungeon. I gotta assume Ice Palace is in the near future. Meanwhile, Andy is making his way over to Pod because there's just too much stuff to pass up. That flute and hammer are the most important pieces coming out of that. So,
and Arm is about to find that Master Sword.
Unfortunately for CRC, there is a lack of knowledge of our other two swords right now. They only just got that book, so have not read either tablet.
You say ether, I say either.
Ooh. I will definitely say I'm a little concerned. I hope that Arm killing Lanmo here does send him back to Eastern before trying to dip one of our hammer dungeons.
I would think so.
I would as well. I'm just a little worried given how much access he's gotten to other stuff. Like, that second Ice Small really opens up that dungeon.
Or else maybe Karma goes to Pod because he might want that flute for, getting a Master Sword someday.
Well, no, this is big for Karma for sure. He will head to Pod. That flute is too powerful at this point.
And then he's got a mirror and do Eastern because it's completable.
Yeah, it looks like Quake for Myers, so I just checked Dante's personal tracker. And yeah, Dante's going to go for his Tempered Sword and probably beat Moldorm real quick. Maybe? I don't know. There was nothing really in Hera.
No, Moldorm had a compass.
Well, I didn't even notice anything on the upstairs to push his play. Like, this could just be the sword before Ice.
I'm not going to say no to Tempered. Though, given Dante's proclivities, I'm surprised he doesn't just want to play the Seed Swordless. So, Karma presumably does not feel comfortable hovering that gap, so he's going to the back of Pod first.
Well, this could just be the Eastern play for him. Okay.
I think he wants the flute while he's in here.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Oh, was there something in Shooter Chest?
I believe there was a small key. Might have been a Meyer Small, I think.
Oh, and now Arm is probably going to actually pull Ether Tablet.
Yep.
So Crystal Roller Crew will finally have tempered knowledge.
Well, and I will not be shocked that at least one member of CRC is getting butter tonight. One of them
neither
will
of them's
blind
done
read
Smith
it.
Chain yet, have they?
It's not even the Smith chain, because I believe we did see at least a Smith chain. It's that neither of them have checked Bombo's tablet.
Right. But Bombo's tablet is a little bit isolated if you're not turning in purple chest.
By the way, shout-outs to the split here for CRC. Karma getting that vanilla big key chest check. It's just another ice small. Well, and for Tharkus there in chat, I will say, I think somebody else mentioned it, but Andy knowing that the hammer is in Eastern and not having the Eastern small to beat Armos, for him, it's really effective to just say, I got my flute, let me go get my hammer.
And Andy
Afterwards.
did manage to get dead rocked, but recovered pretty quickly from that.
So, like, Andy's going to kill Landmo, flute back to Eastern, he'll get his hammer and beat Armos. Like, he gets a little bit added efficiency. Ether for TR, as we knew, so no medallions for our Elite Stage dungeons. But yeah, these are the little things that, you know, work out for timing in different regards. Like, Karma's going to get that info to be able to pass it to Armalix, but, like, it's, you know, it's just going to be a little delayed. Like, Dante is going to have a double dip or a triple dip Eastern tonight.
Is not something you really think about because you would basically never see that outside of key drop. Dante finally picking up the silvers that the other runners have had for a while now.
Yeah, he's been playing a little bit less equipment, but he is our most armed in terms of sword besides arm. So, Spike Cave coming up for Dante, and then I gotta assume we're gonna probably see Ice Palace. Like, that dungeon is screaming.
And incoming hammer for Crystal Roller Crew right about now.
An immediate mirror from Arm. He knows he's gotta rush that. Spike Cave, a big key to TR.
Does he remember? Oh, right. He doesn't need the portal. It's Eastern, not Pod.
Yeah, no, this is just for Armos. Well, and what I'll say is, in terms of the butter sword, like, Dante's got his tempered. He's not pulling butter. Like, if he does,
Sure.
Like, I might have to mock the man mercilessly as a friend. Like, dude, you don't need butter.
I don't think he's going to. He's not going to flex like that. And that is Karma's fourth dungeon. Arm is also about to get his fifth. Andy and Dante are each about to get their fourth. So on the dungeon count, Crystal Roller is slightly ahead at this point.
In terms of the TR keys we need 5 smalls to beat Trinex. And 6 if you want to get laser. Or, Lava Island. It's expensive.
Who wants to do that?
The deceptive part about all the key doors for TR is that 3 of them occur back-to-back. There's the one in the main hub, then the Pokey right after it, then Chomps. That's 3 quick keys, and then it's only 2 more to get to Trinex.
Right, so just to get out of the first few rooms, you need 3.
Yeah. So, like, 3 gets you to, like, the big chest. It's that 4th key that gets you to Laser Bridge that's super important for items. And then the 5th for Trinex is always a little bit worrisome. Good Moth, though, for Dante. Very cooperative.
And he gives new meaning to a hammer dash, dashing into the hammer, rather than with it. Arm did also pick up the hammer.
Yep. So everybody has a hammer.
It's not on his tracker. Yes, it's like Oprah. You get a hammer, and you get a hammer.
I want to see Ice Palace, please. Somebody.
You were excited about Ice Palace ever since the second Ice Small.
I mean, it's such a great dungeon in this mode. There's a lot to it, and we're gonna get to see it finally from Dante here.
And Armalex.
And Arm, yeah.
And Karma, I believe this is our first look at hammer pegs from anyone.
The pegs is a small key. Oh boy.
There's our last Desert Small and hammer pegs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we already know that I think all that was over there was another another pod small, so not hugely important.
Oh, so this is going to be interesting. Karma, doing Smith Chain here, will probably do Bombos. So, because I don't see how you go to the trouble of returning the purple chest. Okay, make a liar out of me and flute and return the purple chest and isolate Bombos. Okay, fine.
Get it? Honestly, he lacks a lot of Swamp Smalls. We're still short to even beat Argus. I wouldn't want to rush that. I think counting on probably beating Ice here makes a lot more sense, which is why he's, like, I don't know. He's also, I think he's lacking a Master Sword. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I could have still checked it. But... Oh, there's a TR Small sitting in Icebreaker chest.
I guess the question is, which medallion are we pulling first? Like, are we going to get the Swamp Smalls to beat Swamp, or are we pulling Ether or Quake next? There's another TR Small, though. And our second Eastern Small. Oh, no. That's completely in logic. That was just locked by that hook shot. Like, you don't need extra keys beyond those two. That is really interesting.
But that Eastern Small is behind the hammer, so it's a forced extra dip to get that last chest.
Well, and Dante will go back. Like, he's the one incentivized for such a play. If there's something there, he'll get it. That could be really dangerous for CRC. Another GT Small there and the Ice Palace big chest. And there's Quake. Bombable wall of Swamp Palace. We have Mire access.
And still no big key to it. We're missing a few big keys. Pod, TR, GT.
Odd Small and Ice Tea.
Lovely.
Now, as you can see, Dante and Arm are going to be on 10 checks each here in Ice Palace. You might be thinking, well, what one besides Cold's left? Well, it's the good old conveyor room if you were doing an Ice Palace bomb jump. So we'll see if Dante goes back in or Arm goes back in for that check.
Yeah, people complain about Ice Tea being out of the way, but if you're icebreakering, then... actually, I wonder if Karma's going to... Yeah, Karma is going down that route and checking it. So
yeah, I don't think there was anything... Didn't seem like there was a lot great on that right side play. Like, there was some keys.
Small.
Yeah, but I wonder if, from their standpoint, they might just be saying it's dead. Would be risky. Okay,
and
so...
bombs from...
Yeah, Conveyor's dead. By the way, if you're watching Andy down here, he is going for the Bomb Spooky. This is some new tech. No, this is pixel perfect, and it is very difficult. Did he get it that time? I think he did. This is going to save him a small key. Ooh, really nicely done.
Wow. Shoutouts to Relkin, our tracker, who is a big fan of Bomb Spooky. Oh, and looks like Karma is going around for that Eastern Small.
So Dante coming into Swamp Palace here. Guess he's going to get his Mire big, and also check out the Swamp Big chest.
Oh, yeah. Right, there was that TR Small and Icebreaker chest, so Karma kind of needed that. Ooh,
it's a rough route, unfortunately.
Yeah, we still haven't seen Powder as far as fetch quests go. Of course, could have Mushroom for Vanilla Powder. I wouldn't put it past this game. We're all congregating in Swamp now. I'm guessing Karma's gonna go there too after Cold Stare.
Yeah, most likely at this point. So Andy is going to give a look to these back checks. He's really hoping for that Swamp Small to be back here.
Oh, and there's Butter Sword.
Well, and there's that Thief Small in the U-turn room. And there's the third. Oh, man. Dante getting all the Thieves Small keys here. Great route for him to be able to get all the keys to beat Thieves now. And
yeah, now that we have the hammer, we can actually clear the back, too.
Yep. And Phelps' pot is nothing in the back, so we're still looking for a fourth small, and it wasn't there, but Swamp does open up a lot of options. Meanwhile, Andy is going for Bombo's Tablet, going to get his third sword. Was going to live without for a bit, so he'll just get his third now.
And there's Crystal Roller Crew's knowledge of Quake. And, oh yeah, this is Crystal Roller Crew's first check of Zora for that big key. Oh no, Arm got it. Okay, I guess I missed that.
Meanwhile, Andy's going to finish up his Smith chain. He needs that. He wants to make sure he's got this taken care of. I believe there was an ice small in this. Or there was a small. No, not specifically the pegs. I think there was something on Smith chain he needed.
Oh, en route.
Yeah.
Because neither of Pugs had done hammer pegs.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I just thought there was something on the Smith chain itself. And the other thing I'll point out here for Dante is, like, you're seeing Andy not follow this Thieves play. While Andy has that second Thieves Small to be able to, or at least has a Thieves Small to be able to beat it, he wants to know if he cares about that big chest. Oh, and we're getting fake powder.
And Armalex is choosing to go... Ooh, there's the pod big and blind cell. Armalex is choosing to go to the back of Swamp. So Crystal Roller Crew does not have knowledge of the mushroom.
Swamp Smalls in the Thieves' big chest. No!
I didn't catch, what did Andy just get by fake powdering?
Nothing.
Okay.
But yeah, that is another Swamp Small in Thieves' big chest. That is deep.
And our first look at blind.
Well, and after this, Dante's likely going to Pod Eastern, going for those double clears. He's got the Eastern keys to finish it completely, and with that Pod big, he'll be able to knock out Helma.
Sure, and as expected, we found another pod small before we found the pod big. Oh, and there's another ice small, not that we really care at this point. Oh, is Karma gonna do Spike Cave?
Also gives that map check real quick. Nothing really new. We kind of knew everything at this point.
I think it showed us TRs on the third pendant. No. Yes? Yes. No.
Okay, Dante making a liar out of me.
Oh!
I gotta say, I'm a little surprised.
Did you catch Spike Cave there?
We saw it already on one of the pugs, I thought.
Oh, Dante did it.
Or did we not?
Yeah, Dante did it. It's marked on his tracker.
Okay. It was like
It's hard watching four at once.
Yeah, we saw him do that when he finally got his silvers.
Dante is the first of our runners into Mire. We still don't have the big key. But we do have 3 smalls. The great thing about Key Drop is we get a trip to Fishbone Room.
And yeah, it looks like, for CRC being a little later to some of the items has been a little bit better on the dungeon clears. 6 for both of our runners on CRC, while 6 for Dante. Andy trailing a little bit behind, only at 4 at the moment.
Oh, right, he still never did climb CT, which all the rest of our runners have done.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I get the why to make the Mire play. It's a lot of info. I think my only concern with this play into Mire is the fact that, Dante has 2 clearable dungeons in Eastern Pod right now, and I feel like he needs to be able to tell Andy whether or not he needs that second Eastern Small. I feel like that's just really high priority.
Oh, and there's another Swamp Small in Mire cutscene.
And that's really good for Andy because he needs that 4th small, and he needs it not to be behind. He wanted a key not locked by Thieves 3.
Well, where was the 4th one Dante found? Because that was Dante's 5th. What?
Thieves big.
Oh, okay. Oh, Andy's short a Thieves Small.
Yeah, no, he's fine now.
Right, but no, just that he didn't open Thieves Big.
Yeah, because
short of small.
Yeah, and the fact that Dante found that 4th Swamp Small completely erases any issue for Andy. And if the mushroom is something, Dante can get the mushroom without worrying about Bomb Spooky either. This cleared up both problems for the 2 of them. Both of their routes clean up very nicely because of that little hitch.
But I believe Arm did open the Thieves Big and get that Swamp. Swamp Small. And so Arm will actually be the first of our 4 runners back into Pod with the big key.
That's a GT small off the mushroom, so not critical.
What's
Probably
the
okay.
minimum number of GT smalls required?
To just beat Agatu 2 to get everything at 6.
Right, but at this point we have all the crystal dungeons, so we're not going to need to touch GT Basement. Unless the big key's there. Caught myself.
Well, you said TR's a pendant, so we could have pendant stuff in there.
Except that I think when Dante then checked, it wasn't, and also Dante's tracker is showing Swamp as... Dante and Karma are showing Swamp as the 3rd pendant.
Okay, then yeah.
I think I saw something blue and somehow...
We're still missing a GT. We're still missing a GT big, so we could be needing to explore that basement.
Right, I guess absolute worst case scenario is GT big in Map Chest of GT. So while Armalex is in this area, will he go back and do that isolated check in Eastern? Because if not, it's gone forever.
Has either of CRC dipped Meyer?
No.
Then I would expect he might go for Meyer instead. That's the info. You need to start hitting stuff that's dense. Eastern is probably not great. Like, that Eastern 2, the first person who should be there is Dante, and I'm still surprised he hasn't gone back for it. Big chest of Pod is our Meyer big.
Lovely. And Helma himself just gives us a penny for our thoughts. Sure hope Arm goes back in for the Pod for the Meyer big.
Oh, I wouldn't expect him to skip that. Not at all.
And then, of course, you turn in the green pendant while you're in the neighborhood.
Yep. And here's the thing, is that even sends Arm further away from Eastern 2. From Eastern Big Key. Just.
Unless he does Eastern before turning in the green pendant.
No, this Meyer Big will tell him don't go
the
to
Meyer
Eastern.
Big, yeah, makes it more likely that he'll just want to rush to Meyer.
Yep. There is no way he goes into Eastern with this Meyer Big right here.
So both teams now have full knowledge of all the big keys except for GT. And another ice small that doesn't do anything for us on Argus.
Green pendant turn in is dead. We don't know what's in Eastern Big Key chest. None of the runners have had their second Eastern small while in the back. Dante's going to be the first one in Eastern with 2 smalls. If somebody's checking it, it is Dante. I'm just curious if he'll actually do it.
Armalex batted away the murdered dactyl, but unfortunately didn't kill it before using Quake, so he's now lost his sword beams for going into Meyer, which is unfortunate because you kind of like to have them in Meyer too.
Yeah, he's got it.
I mean, would have had it a little bit Fire Rod with half magic isn't half bad.
No, and I would expect these guys to be pretty comfy doing the Meyer 2 strats with just Fire Rod. Okay, so Andy's going to head back to Meyer, probably. No reason not to at this point. Or is he going to beat Ice? Okay, Ice up first. Fair enough. Okay, Dante, are you going to rush across, or are you just going to Armos? You are going across. Cool.
We'll finally get our questions answered.
And arrows. You know, there was another tech we could have seen there from Dante that it's really niche.
What?
You can actually hook backwards into that block. Yeah, we saw checkerboard. Everybody's been pretty thorough at this point. Like, I think Meyer Big Chest or Vidi has to be the answer, or Pyramid Fairy. Like, we're running out of checks, folks.
Dante did everything in Meyer except for Big Chest and Vidi?
Yeah, I believe so.
So what's it got to be, like a TR small? Because
What?
that's what we're short. Well, or we could... Oh, no, Ether, right.
Yeah, we're short an Ether Medallion, and realistically, we're going to get that Ether Medallion in those checks I mentioned. Like, it's either in Meyer, which I don't think we got anything in Meyer yet, or it's Pyramid Fairy. And this is a very interesting route I haven't seen with the Ice Palace play. Andy going backwards to get to the conveyor to check it.
Easier to go backwards through Icebreaker Room. Not Icebreaker, Bomb Jump Room. Oh, Meyer Small and Meyer. That's where Dante got his extra Meyer Small from.
Okay, so this is Karma making the return trip for that Eastern Big Key chest. They know they're running out of checks, and so they're trying to cover some loose ends real quick.
It's gotta be Vidi. I mean, what else haven't we seen?
Pyramid Fairy.
Or, right, I was about to say, or the fact that Vidi opens Pyramid Fairy. I would have to assume Arm does Pyramid Fairy next. I mean, I think you do Pyramid Fairy regardless, since you're multiple items from go no matter how you slice it.
I mean, if Vidi has Ether, there's definitely a world where you could just risk it. That TR5 is there. But it's not, so it's going to be Pyramid Fairy.
And Andy
Although-
now going... What?
Okay, Arm actually probably... He'll do Swamp into Pyramid Fairy, yeah.
Oh, makes sense, since... Right. For all he knows, it's on Argus.
Well, they have a lot left in Swamp by comparison.
Right, they never did left side.
Yep.
Well, he did the pot on left side, but not the two chests.
Oh, is he... He's rushing Pyramid Fairy, okay. Fair.
Maybe he's thinking that Pug's probably got to Swamp and full cleared it already, and they're less likely to have already done Pyramid Fairy.
Well, the other piece of it could be they're thinking about key logic and where, like, the 6th key would have been. They could be thinking about that 6th key locking the checks that are left for them, so they might not want to rush that one. That wouldn't shock me, is the angle they're playing at. Yeah, and Garrison's confirming that for me, so yeah. There's a TR key, and there's Ether.
Okay.
That's GP mode.
Yeah. But Arm is going to do Swamp now so that he can just be on the mountain for good once he goes up there.
Yep.
And Dante is on his way to Vidian, then he'll go to Pyramid Fairy, so Pugs aren't that far behind with that knowledge.
No, I will say, I think the hard part here is, like, Dante's pretty well in line with Karma and Arm. The real concern here for Pugs is Andy's just a bit behind on the dungeon count. He's cleaning up Meyer, so that'll get him his 8th, and then he'll have Swamp, but he also has not beaten CT. Like, that's
Right.
the one that's really putting him behind a bit.
And even having cleared it out, that's a few minutes to climb.
Well, and here's the tough part is, like, if you want to look at where that time was, like, where he's behind those 2 dungeons, is a CT climb without a sword that really just didn't pay off, and a skull back dip without a skull small. Like, missing those 2 things resulted in quite a bit of extra time, unfortunately. That's kind of making the difference. This race is close. And those
Right,
2
I forgot
dips
about
are...
that. The Skullwoods bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, that's the difficulty in this moment for the Pugs, is how do you make up that time when, realistically, Arm, after this, heads to TR?
So Arm is rushing Argus here. I guess he figures if GT Big shows up on Argus, why even think about left side?
Meanwhile, Dante's about to get that Ether Medallion out of Pyramid Fairy.
Where is the PR small that Karma has that Arm doesn't?
Arm does have 5. I just checked his
okay.
personal tracker. Arm does not have the TR big key. He needs to get that out of Spike still.
Right, but he can do that once he's on the mountain.
Yep.
So do you say goodbye forever left side swamp and risk it? I guess Arm is, at least.
I think there's a world where Karma could do it as a safety play and build some time between the 2 of them.
So Dante now has his 5 TR smalls and the TR big. So this is just direct TR for him.
Yeah, like there's a world where Karma could go back in to hit left side, but I don't know. I feel like they might be rushing to play the GT play together. So we'll see what Karma does.
Yeah, Karma still needs to go over to Pyramid Fairy, of course.
Yep.
As does Andy.
Well, and for both of them, it's, you know, it's Swamp in to Pyramid Fairy. Meanwhile, Arm did get his TR Big Key, so he was a little bit ahead of Dante on Swamp and to Pyramid Fairy, but Dante already having that TR Big does mean he is immediately just into this play. So he'll be first into TR.
Right, but the flip side is Andy's going to be last into TR, and Andy still has CT.
Yep.
And now you just have to hope you don't accidentally open the door to Lava Chest when you're stealing the Poke Key.
Well, realistically, the TR6 is here.
True.
Based on what we know of the seed right now, TR6 has to be here.
Oh, right. Garrison reminding us that the Pokey doesn't have a key, the Pokey has an item. Might be the 6th key.
Oh, I'm not even saying that it's the Poke Key. There's Go.
We're in Go mode.
Yeah. No, my point wasn't that it's the Poke Key. I'm just saying TR6 is here.
And Karma got
We have
dead
nothing
rock.
left in this game for TR6 not to be in TR.
But it's moot because we're in Go mode.
It's moot because we're in Go mode.
And Armalex is about to be in Go mode in about 5 seconds.
Yep, and Arm following that same route on Dante. Like, he'll be a little bit behind Dante, but it's, like, it's just not. There you go, there's Go mode
Oh,
for CRC.
I didn't even think about this. Andy has to take the long route for Pyramid Fairy because he hasn't beaten Aga 1, so he can't use Aga Portal.
Yep. Like, here's where this gets complicated. It's like, yeah, I mean, I could see Andy passing Karma in GT. Like, I think there's a world where that's possible. But, like, he's behind a ton of TR at this point, and he's got to do Spike K first, and he's got CT. I think we can say CRC's in the lead.
Yeah.
In for average time. Like, I think Dante's going to finish the seed first, but
Yes,
the
I
lead
mean-
he has on Arm is just not enough.
And even accounting for Andy has better execution than Karma and will undoubtedly gain time on Karma, I think, yes, you said the fact that Andy still has to do Aga 1 is just too big of a differential. I mean, anything can happen. Ganon falls have been known to happen, but barring something bad happening, like assuming normal execution from all of the runners from here on out, I think Crystal Roller Crew wins. Zaf doesn't trust his teammates to have normal execution for the rest of the seed.
But here we go, Dante on the Trinex.
And Armalex about 2 rooms behind. So let's get their respective times with Crystal Grab.
Yeah, Andy has all the CT keys.
Okay, that's 127.49 for Dante grabbing the crystal.
But yeah, Andy will be in go mode in less than a minute.
And Arm does have the Butter Sword, which saves a small amount of time on Trinex. Okay, so that's 43 seconds difference on the crystal grab.
You know, I haven't been talking about this MSU choice, but I love this booster tower use for the GT climb.
Yeah, definitely expresses the tension you want to be feeling on a GT climb. Still 43 seconds entering GT. And yeah, I have a hard time seeing Andy closing the gap behind Karma to 43 seconds.
I mean, I could say, like, I could see it in GT, but it's the CT portion that I don't see. Like, it's CT's quick, and Andy can make quick work of that dungeon, but not quick enough.
Yeah, I don't think he's invented the 43-second CT climb and Agaphite. And of course, everyone has silvers. All of these runners should be able to 1-in-1 Ganon.
Yeah, and Karma coming up on his GT, so...
Yeah, Dante's probably expanded his lead on Arm a bit in the gauntlet. Arm isn't going through quite as smoothly as Dante did.
Dante picking up that last magic. He's going to be going right into his cannon fight. So, oh, we're getting the hover. Okay.
Wow, yeah, he made that first slash at Moldorm. I thought that meant he was, actually gonna beat Moldorm. Nope, and he takes the fall. So that gives some time back to Arm. Okay, knock on wrist to hover twice.
I will say both of the pugs have been doing great hovers today, and
so
really hitting them.
Armalite.
Yeah, so is Arm.
I mean, we saw a lot of hovering to the right side of the pod, which you really don't often see runners able to pull off so cleanly as the three of those guys did today.
Down goes Aga 2 for Dante, just as Arm enters the fight.
Okay, I don't know why they took blue balls out of Aga 2 fight, because for Aga 2, that actually adds a little bit of strategy. Since you have 3 Agas firing at once. You know, it's not mechanical the way the Aga 1 fight is, or Phase 3 of Ganon is.
Good double spin there. Good setup here along the bottom row. Good one cycle for Phase 1 into Phase 2. Arm has that butter sword, going to be really easy for him on the 1-in-1, and Dante good with the dashes and the spin. So he'll be into Phase 3. Yeah, there's your answer, Drossi. If you put Aga 1 to 0, it puts Ganon and Aga 2 to 0.
Ah, okay. Yes, thanks to Telefar. Oh.
Yeah, one of the the creators of this mode. But good double-double from Dante to get the kill. Get your G's in chat for Dante.
And Arm, of course, well into Phase 3, and is probably going to have a fast Phase 4 with the Silvers.
But yeah, there you go. So Dante finishing first overall with a 140-34-36. How much time does he have in front of Arm is the question, as Arm holds pretty much the same fight. And get your G's in chat for Armalix, who will be crossing the bridge shortly.
Yep.
Arm finishing with a 135.06. So that's
yeah, that Moldorm fall a bit costly for Dante. The gap is only 30 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, Andy's probably gonna help. Oh yeah. Not even thinking about hitting Moldorm, and just does it smoothly.
Yeah, he's been really consistent tonight. Like, you see a lot of runners who do hovers. Like, part of what they do is they are looking at how the hover's going for them for the rest of the seed. It's like, how consistent can I be with my hover? And his hovering has been really solid tonight, so easy choice.
He's also been doing it longer than almost anyone else.
Armed having to be a little bit careful here. But out of Phase 2 into Phase 3, he's in Oko. He'll have to be a little bit careful here, but he should be fine.
He's probably nervous because he has no idea where Andy's at.
Yep.
And remember, we're not playing under delay. This is what's actually happening.
But Karma set up to get these final 2 arrows in. 1 and 2. There you go. Get your GGs in chat for IB Karma, who's going to get in at third and finish with a 136.54. Pretty much this race is over. Andy has 30 seconds from when Arm finished to finish the seed to still win. Unfortunately, Aga Tower is a bit longer than that. So,
plus he has to still kill Ganon.
Yep. So yeah, this will be a win on average time for CRC, the Crystal Roller Crew, starting off their season with a very nice win over the Pugs.
And they're confirming in the race time room that Andy's just gonna finish this out since he's close anyway.
Yep.
So I guess we'll wait for that, and then hopefully we can get all 4 runners in here.
Well, and honestly, we could probably bring up CRC. Andy's audio was unusable for tonight, so it's not too bad if we bring them in and start chatting.
Well, here they are. Okay.
We are joined by the Crystal Roller Crew, Armalix and IB Karma. GG's, guys.
Yeah, that was a sweaty one.
Zaf might want a team meeting with you guys.
Zaf always wants a team meeting. That's why we don't let him in here.
Also, we don't want to get banned this early in the league.
Nope.
Well, that's just why we don't allow him on post-race interviews.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, this was a seed. I think I'm trying to think if going to Swamp as late as we did was good or bad.
You weren't that much later or ahead of them. Realistically, Andy went in a little sooner, just because of the fact that like Dante went to ice, so they diverged a bit there. But Andy went in with 3 keys.
Yeah, I think you. The last 2 Swamp Smalls that we found were locked behind Swamp entry, so I'm guessing the 6th is like in GT or TR as well. So I think you had to do a 3 key dip because they were Thieves Big behind the 2 Thieves Small, and then somewhere in Mire behind cutscene behind the Quake. And then I just assumed that, like, you know, the 6th one could be anywhere in GT or TR that we didn't check.
We had seen everything else outside of TR and GT. Andy did give us a bomb spooky left side and found the mushroom.
Nice. I'm gonna count that as the margin of victory.
But yeah, I think one of the things that helped you guys was you were first to the sword by quite a bit.
Yes,
Arm actually
I assumed
said
that was a thing. Yeah. That sequence there was a little jittery in terms of like why did I did like Cape into Skull, and then the Skull key sent me out, and then I was like, well, I should buy time, and then I was like, oh, I'm basically a catfish, so why not? And then that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the big thing was Andy went into CT without that sword. So like if we're gonna look at one of the big differences, Andy did the 4-check CT swordless, unfortunately. They both knew where the other 2 swords were already. But we are now joined. Yeah, we are now joined also by Andy and Dante. GG's, as we do see Andy into phase 3 of his Ganon fight.
Hello, GG's.
Hello, GG's, y'all.
GG.
Yeah, that was a sweaty one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think being the guy who full cleared Swamp and Aga Tower without the ability to beat them, kind of.
Yeah.
I will point out, I think the Swamp doesn't bite you just because of the fact that like you had to double dip Swamp. It's the CT and I think the back of Skull mishap are the 2 big ones.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, was this the swordless back of Skull?
No, I just forgot to grab a small key from the front of Thieves before going back.
Yeah, because I was sitting here trying to think. I was like, man, this was so awful. Like, I was trying to think, like, maybe they got the Eastern small before getting, beating Eastern at one time. Because I felt really, like, giganto brain getting that hammer. Because Andy was like, you probably don't need to go back into Eastern. It's just 2 checks. And I'm like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, we actually did. Well, yeah, you had just found the small, but I think I'm coming around to the going back in on 2. We did, I think the seed that, was it Worf and Andy did versus Jesse and Kazem? We did that as practice, like, last night. And I think that one was, like, one of the ones that is burned. I'm like, oh, it's 2 checks in this mode. Like, this is probably better than, like, most of the stuff that you have after you, like, full clear pod and have nothing left. So, I don't know, it's hard to say with, like, we got the flute out of pod, so maybe that opens up enough, but yeah.
Yeah, because it was pretty huge with the flute, but...
Yeah.
I was going to ask Crystal Roller crew, though, about Bottle Vendor.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I was just there without money, and I figured it was... We were late there because I think I said to Karma that we should try to get a bottle before we go into town so that we cover Sick Kid. And then we just got the mitts a bit late, but we didn't really do anything besides, like, I don't know. Having mitts for right side of mountain would have been nice, but not terrible. So that was it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the grand scheme of things, like, while you guys were late to mitts, I want to say, Pugs, you guys hit most of the rest of the game before making your way over to Desert and Agena. So it kind of balanced out a little bit.
Yeah, I really wanted to do Agena right after Hook. And then Andy got the lamp and a couple other like nice things. So I was like, I'll just go to Mini Moldorm and then I'll do the mountain. So you know, it's like we got led away, I guess, from that pearl. It'd have been super nice to have that the first trip up there, because then I had to make that the second trip, because I would have, you know, foregone the ether tablet sword. Which can we talk about like the SG chat like dream of 2 swords on 2 tablets, like
especially with hard required sword and catfish in the process.
This is like SG. This is where SG chat and Jim, their dreams all merge into one.
Yeah, that was. If you don't, we did not experience that pain because of the early catfish. But if you don't do that, that is not great.
Well, and I will say the pugs knew of those swords before they had a sword.
Yep.
You guys kind of lucked, like you dropped into Bombos and Ether Tablet with Master Sword. They had that.
Wow.
Yeah, we had that info early.
Yeah, I checked Ether without the sword first. Right? You had it early. Yeah, I only had 1 sword on Ether Tablet, but it's easy enough. Or did I have Master Sword for Ether Tablet? I guess I did.
You had it. You got your temper off of Ether and then butter off of Bombos.
Yeah, you had
butter.
What
I'm thinking of.
That's wild.
I got butter sword
so
without
funny.
Knowing. Yeah.
Oh man. Because I had Mit's Pearl mirror book for my first mountain trip, so I checked that, and I checked that like literally. Like Dante had just said that like sword on tablet, and then I read Ether Tablet, and it was sword on tablet. I was like, wait, are you at Ether Tablet? What's going on? Because it was literally like back to back, and I was like, I must have just like misheard what Dante said he was doing just now.
Well, it was just the way we split it. The way we split it, I ended up going up the mountain before even hitting CAC, so I didn't have the mirror up the right side mountain. I had hook and lamp.
Yeah.
And pearl.
Yeah, and it sounds like the other big difference is that I had done like all of CAC while Karma was in Eastern, and then Karma immediately did South Shore while I rushed to the glove. So we had a little bit more time, and then Karma was in Agena early to, you know, do things while I was stuck retracing the Eastern glove steps.
Yeah, I do the Eastern opening, so I got the Eastern glove pretty early.
Yeah, that's basically what I did here too. And then like, right after I got the glove, Andy was like, "I got another glove." So
Yep.
Then where did Arm miss the money at?
There was
I pulled the
50
in Link's house.
Yeah, Andy went to the wrong place.
Yeah,
and it blessed him.
Okay. Yeah. The other thing is you have like 110, but you have 0 bombs, and I decided that a 10 pack of bombs was more important than figuring that out. I guess the other thing is it's lucky neither of us are on the new hot tech of right side TR last after you clear the dungeon.
Oh, he almost did. He almost did. And he was like, maybe they'll do that.
Yeah,
that's
I was like,
I hope. I just did checks, and then I opened the key, and I was like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, and at that point, like, I don't know, when I did pod into Saha check, we were, like, going over dungeon counts, and I was at, like...
6, and I was about to be at 9.
Dante was, like, about to be 9, and I was like, yeah. This just kind of...
blows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one person does all the overworld checks, you send them to Hera Basement, they do, you know, all this other stuff, and then the other person's just like, I'm gonna kill a boss.
Yeah, we just, like, I pulled, like, Hyrule Castle big key somewhere, and
You did that.
had another Hyrule Castle small key, so I was like, I should just go check ball and chain, get it out of the way. And, like, while I'm here, I have all 4 CT smalls. I don't have a sword yet, but I, like, might as well, you know, clear it while I'm here. Just in case. And like Ice Rod was really cool, and it let Dante do Agate Tower early, post sword, but like that was just like basically time lost for me.
Yeah, definitely a close one. GG's. This mode is
oh, good.
Do you also feel great that you beat an admin that or something?
No, Arm almost had a heart attack, by the way. So me and Arm are sitting there. You finish. Arm finishes. Then I finish. And I'm like, okay, we have 30 seconds. And then, like, right toward the end of 30 seconds, the line moves up. Because you're typing GG. And he's like, oh no, he's finishing.
Wow.
God.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
that was
I finished, and then we saw the second come in, and then we both went, "Uh-oh," because we knew how much Andy had.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was good though.
I don't know. There's always like everyone accumulates a random amount of punishes in this mode every single seed, and you just kind of hope that like it's even or close, and you don't just end up like +3 on the other person.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I do like with this is that it's just not as, I guess the word is like, it's not as optimized. So like, I'm sure you guys felt the same way in some ways, but like, you know, we didn't really feel like we had an out, but we could think of a million things we didn't do, you know, probably the most optimal way, you know, because of the way the keys fell or something. So, you know, it makes you think on your feet a little more, and it's just not as, I guess, predictable.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the joke about like normal 80 keys where you're like, well, there's like 2 decisions. It's like, when do you go pod, when do you go mountain? And this mode has like 18 decisions and you don't know which one is which. So,
did one of you also pray for a swamp small, or did you have all the swamp small? Oh, okay.
We went in the swamp with 4. We had 4 going in, or wait,
no, 3.
3.
We had 3 because we couldn't clear. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we don't know where the 6th one is. But it's
4 and 5 were locked behind swamp, I believe, is what we saw.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
because one was behind the 2 thieves smalls you got in swamp, and the other one was behind Mire.
All 7 Mire smalls, or however many there are.
Yeah, dude, I was like mirroring to go into swamp. Like I'd already drained the water and went back in my portal, and Dante's like, "Oh, swamp big and ice," and I'm like, "Oh baby, here's another Andy punish coming in." And then it says Thieves Small, and I'm like, bro, you better book it to Thieves Town, because I'm not coming back here for that Thieves Small key. And then he pulls a Swamp Small, and I'm like, bro, there's 2 more out there. You better find one of them.
The best part, though, was when I pulled the one in the Meyer cutscene chest. He goes, all right, there's another one out there. You better find that one.
Yeah, we were at the end. That was like our big end game decision. Was I was a little bit ahead to Meyer, and I had that swamp small, and Karma was like just going into Meyer as I was starting towards Pyramid Fairy. It's like, so do I get that swamp small? Because if you get a Meyer small and Pyramid Fairy, like we're just back into swamp. So
yeah. Well, Andy, hand me the backpack.
I did get 1.5 tries for Bomb Spooky and Swamp, so that was cool.
Yeah. Bomb Spooky is a mystery. I don't know the frame.
All right, that's more time loss, Andy. Right there.
Yeah, that's true.
And then fake powdering and turning in the mushroom because you had it.
Yep, that's true.
I
was like, why not? Like, I'm probably going to Thieves Town next because that's really the only good decision left. So, like, let's just gas my magic and then refill it on the boss.
Gosh.
Makes sense. Good order.
But yeah, GG's gamers. See you in a couple days.
Yeah, it's you and Worf on Thursday?
Yeah. Dante can't take 2 nights staying up until 11 p.m. in the same week.
Yeah, especially if I'm about to drive for like 52 hours the next day. So.
And are we seeing Karma and Arm for game 2 as well? Is this a
Yeah.
Zap week?
Yes. We're the AD team.
Yeah.
That's right. That's us for cross keys. Dante's not allowed to play cross keys.
Oh yeah,
not allowed, or not allowing you to make him play cross keys.
No, that I'm not allowed to, because if I do,
I think both.
I'll do it, but we will lose. I guarantee it.
I feel you, Dante.
I already feel like I route for my teammate in cross keys enough on the side. It'd just be way more for Dante.
Yeah, I have to ask for directions far too often.
Listen, after carrying Solski in co-op for so many years, I just like have it pre-built into my brain that I have to route for my teammate while I'm routing for myself.
At least half of my dash lines are right, though.
That's true. Solski's gonna wake up and be like, "What?"
Oh man.
But yeah, GG's guys. We'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah, GG's. Have a good night.
Yeah, GG's to both teams. And if you wanna well, first of all, follow the runners, but also check back in Thursday night, same time is when they're having that second match. Meanwhile, we do have some races on the calendar coming up. Tomorrow, kicking off in terms of things that have been given restreams here on SpeedGaming 2 at 1 p.m. We'll see the Open League match between the Joy of Rando and Three Guys, One Lever. And then at 2 p.m. on SpeedGaming Main, Blue Trinex Group versus Banana Brigade. And then back here on SpeedGaming 2 at 3 p.m., we are also here versus Team Hime. And then there are plenty of
Team 2 there. Between,
yeah,
we were also here in Hime.
Right, Team Hime took game 1. But yeah, that's just the afternoon, and then there's a whole evening schedule too for both leagues, none of which have been assigned channels yet, so definitely keep your eyes on the schedule.
Yeah, I'd expect some of those late night games to get some restream love as well, so keep an eye out, and if you want to help out doing what we're doing or the important work that Relkin and What's Up did tonight on tracking, do join the Discord and sign up. We could always use more people hanging out.
Yeah, huge shout outs to the trackers. We cannot do these restreams without them. And yeah, shout outs to Jesse. I'm glad we got to do this.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
So with that, we still have anything going on tonight?
I hadn't really checked.
Doesn't look it. Let's see what else is going on SpeedGaming then that we can get you over to. Let's see. It looks like there's Metroid Prime 2 Rando on SpeedGaming 3, so why don't we mosey on over to that? But yeah, GG's again to the runners. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you around.